GM. Today I thought we would go over a new marketplace, Ciao. It is launching in a little less than 2 weeks, so I thought we'd take a look together. Let's get it. All right, here we are on Ciao. This is the marketplace that's about to launch in 13 days. Trade runes and NFTs on Bitcoin's premier marketplace, stake XP, earn rewards, and explore exclusive digital assets in a secure and dynamic trading environment. Okay, so we've got tasks here. I completed all the tasks. I actually was doing this with you guys, but my mic wasn't connected, so here we are for round 2. So we've got connect wallet here, follow our X account, you earn 800 XP, like and repost our giveaway 900, and post on X about Ciao 1000 XP. I've done all this. Below we can see an FAQ. What is Ciao? Ciao is the utility token. Unfortunately, so I went to .swap to buy some Ciao. Yeah, we can connect my wallet here. I got around, I think I got 36 or 37 Ciao for about $100, 95 bucks, I think. And then you can basically stake your Ciao. One thing I'm bearish on is that Ciao is not a rune, it's actually a BRC20. The BRC20 is a token standard that was launched before runes. It's basically a modified version of the Ordinals protocol. So Casey launched the Ordinals protocol for JPEGs, and Domu came along and he modified the Ordinals protocol to create the BRC20 tokens. Now that we have the Runes protocol, which is intended for tokens specifically, we really don't need BRC20s anymore. I see them as redundant, and recently the Runes market cap surpassed that of BRC20s, so there is that. The market dictates where the attention is, and the attention is clearly on Runes, no longer on BRC20s. So I am curious about why they chose to launch the Ciao token as a BRC20. Maybe because, I don't know, my conjectures are probably too retarded anyway, so I'm not going to go there. So you can mine XP on the platform before launch. Why is my XP mining Ciao balance different? I don't know why. What are points? Points are a system for incentivizing and rewarding users for various participatory actions in the OrdinalsBot ecosystem. So yeah, this is actually really clever because they basically tell you, hey, this is how you earn tokens. It's funny because this is how you mine experience. And with the experience you earn, you can go to the lottery here and try to win a Bitcoin puppet, for example, or a Satoshibable, or some dog go to the moon. For example, here it says it's 2000 XP per ticket. I have 3.1k XP so far, so I can get one ticket. I do think they should lower the amount of XP per ticket because it's all the same. Like, even if I have 4 tickets, if they quadruple this total number of tickets, it's the same chance, right? But it makes it look like it's easier for people to earn points, so they have a greater chance of winning the puppet or whatever. I am generally bearish on farming on Bitcoin because I think we should leave that shit on Ethereum. But it is a pretty clever marketing strategy because by getting you to refer them and earn points by engaging, they can sustain the same marketing costs, as in they use the pool and you just buy tickets with your experience points. And that way their marketing budget is more predictable, and compared to, hey, the more you engage, maybe we give you some Ciao or whatever. I do like that. How does the referral system work? Can the Ciao launch app be exploited? Reward pools are a way to spend XP. Yeah, so I did wonder, why no OMB? Why no Pizza Ninja? I would love to see more OG projects in the pool. Hopefully we will eventually. That's a lot of tickets. It tells me how many predicted users we can expect. Guessing most users only have less than 4,000 points. So most people have probably 1 ticket each, right? So I have 4,000 users. The rest are farmers. I don't like farming that much because it gives an inaccurate picture of what's actually going on, especially because farmers are different from actual users. I'll use Magic Eden's diamonds or ME tokens as an example. When you have farmers farming for diamonds on Magic Eden, what it does is that it increases the volume of purchase purchases and sales on Magic Eden, but it inflates it because the volume isn't real. A lot of these farmers are willing to take a loss with the bet that the losses they're taking at present will be negligible compared to the amount they can earn in ME tokens when the tokens are actually airdropped to them. So it's a play, and it does nothing for the projects except potentially drive their prices down while ME collects the fees. That's not what is going on here, because experience is different. This is a marketing strategy that pushes the Trio brand out. It is farming, but I do like the idea that we can potentially win a Bitcoin puppet or a Satoshibble or dog go to the moon. Anytime I see dog go to the moon, I get super bullish. So there is that. I do want to mention that Satoshibles is the very first NFT that I own. You can see a copy of mine in the background in canvas form. I still own it. So Satoshibles first launched on Ethereum. They bridged to Stacks, which is one of the earliest, if not the earliest, layer 2 on Bitcoin. I'm not sure, but it is one of the OGs anyway. Apparently Satoshibles is planning to bridge to Ordinals. I asked Bruffstar, the founder, on a space, and he did mention that Satoshibles as Satoshis belong on Bitcoin. This is Satoshibles, the project, and if you can recognize this guy, it's this Japanese American guy who everyone thought was Satoshi for ages. So yeah, uncanny likeness. A little bit more about the team. The Trio marketplace team is the same team behind OrdinalsBot, so you can buy Trio here as well. That's the Trio token, the home of Ordinals on Bitcoin. I did want to ask, what is the difference between OrdinalsBot and Trio? I might have him on the channel for an interview, so keep an eye out for that. One last point, whenever I do see a marketplace that is a smaller marketplace and the space is dominated by a single monopoly, I do get somewhat bullish. I have nothing against monopolies in general. For example, Google has a monopoly over search engines. It's the #1 search engine. Amazon has a monopoly over e-com, and I think they're fantastic. Google and Amazon are absolutely goated in that. We have Pirate Bay for torrents, absolutely amazing torrent search, VLC for video players. So monopolies are basically the winners of a space. The problem I have with Magic Eden is that they earn all these fees from projects. Every time someone mints or makes a sale, even on secondary, they earn a fee. My issue is that none of these fees go back to the projects. So they're basically extracting value from the ecosystem and not putting anything back. I know it might sound idealistic, but I do wish that some of those fees, or at least a portion of those fees, went back to the treasury of those projects so that those projects can be empowered to do more. As we know, once a project runs out of liquidity, there's a lot of friction points and you can do very little with no liquidity, obviously. Imagine trying to run any business without any funds. It's impossible. So in that way, I do see marketplaces like ME taking all the fees for every sale as a value extractor and not really as a positive contributor to the space. They act like they're Web3 friendly, but in my view, they're a necessary evil. Kind of like Amazon. Amazon's a necessary evil, right? So imagine what would happen if all those fees, or at least even a small portion of it, were to go back into the space. The space would look like a very different place than it is today. The fiduciary responsibility is not to the space, but to their investors. So that's why they act the way they do. And that's an unfortunate reality. I'm not hating on ME. ME has an important place in the space, but at the same time, these are my issues with them. Whenever I do see smaller marketplaces launching and fighting for market share, I welcome them with open arms, because I do think having more options and having different challengers keeps big marketplaces like ME on their toes and gets them to start doing things differently, or at least to consider some other options so that they can reposition themselves, or maybe think, hey, maybe we should be offering some of these projects their fees back. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. All right. We've reviewed Trio, the marketplace. It's launching in 13 days. I'll leave the relevant links below if you want to check them out. Check them out. Here's the Satoshibble. He's a handsome lad. Okay, I'm your host Valerioshi, and you've been watching DGen Reports. I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.